is Tallulah et Lulu, and this is, I almost said our vlog, but I shall claim it as my vlog and say that she's simply here to look glamorous. Hopefully it's not quite as glamorous as me, but you know, Lulu, bonjour Lulu, bonjour. Right, so this week we are going to be, thank you very much to Richard Goldman, who sent in the interesting and very serious question, is it possible to do yoga in the kitchen? Mais oui, Richard, mais oui. We can do yoga anywhere, but of course we can do it in the kitchen, and in fact this week it's going to be all about kitchen yoga. I might trademark that. So you heard it here first. Obviously this will be dated, so don't try and run off with that idea. Anyway, kitchen yoga, yes you can do, now listen, you can do yoga anywhere that you want, Richard, or anyone else that's interested in yoga. And I had a dance teacher, you know, a long time ago, who said that you could dance in the kitchen. I mean, not necessarily the cha-cha or the tango, although obviously if you're that way inclined, don't let me stop you. But you know, not even something so complicated as that. You could simply reach for a banana, say, and go a little extra far. You know, test your balance. Make a little bit of a statement as you... The thing is, your kitchen should be a place to explore. So if you're wanting to do a bit of dance, then you should do a little bit of dance. You know, this is your moment, your playground, essentially. So one thing about yoga, okay, I like to find my balance in the kitchen. So imagine that you're just boiling the kettle. So obviously when you're boiling the kettle, there's not much to do. It's not like you need to stare at it. In fact, the opposite. What is that thing? Staring at a... No. Looking at... A watched pot never boils. Something like that. Anyway, so you obviously don't even want to look at the kettle. It's incognito. You don't want to stare at it when it's boiling or trying to boil. So what I like to do then is do tree, which for those of you that don't know yoga, is when you stand on one leg, you take the other leg up just above or below the knee, and then you take your hands to heart center like this. And if this feels pretty good, if you're not wobbling too much, then you take a deep breath and you raise up your arms and then you do that. And that is a very centering pose. It's very grounding. Okay, and then obviously make sure you remember to do it on the other leg, because otherwise you're going to leave the kitchen slightly squint, and that should never be recommended, darling, straight off. One should always try to be straight up, I mean not army straight, but generally good posture. So anyway, that is just one example of yoga in the kitchen. If you want to be more extreme, you can obviously do a lunge like this, you know, limber up. I mean, the kitchen is a place to do some twirling, some limbering. You're imagining, just even this. You know, just even a good arm stretch, especially if you've been, you know, at the computer. Use your boiling the kettle time to open up like a flower. Oh, that was a little bit poetic then. I suddenly saw sunflowers from Van Gogh, or you would say in America, Van Gogh. Anyway, okay, so now, the sandwich that goes along with yoga in the kitchen is, of course, the fruit medley sandwich. That tripped right off my tongue. But basically, there are some ingredients, some foodstuffs that will help with your flexibility. Like fruit, sesame seeds, seaweed, and le pièce de résistance, tumeric. So please, I remember that last one. It's nice to end with a exotic ingredient. Anyway, listen, I wouldn't recommend putting all those things in one sandwich. I would choose my favorite ones, and a fruit sandwich sounds a bit odd, to be honest, unless you're somebody that appreciates sloppy joes, in which case you like soft, wet, you know, soggy things. I'm not a soggy person, but if you like that kind of thing, then maybe stewing some apricots, whatever you say in America, and then putting that in between some bread and eating it, and see how that affects your flexibility, your nimbleness. Nimbleness is key in life. Never forget it. Never forget it, Richard, or anyone else who's watching this. And that is all. The recipe will be down below. If anyone has any other life questions, kitchen questions, anything really, I cover all bases, darling. I'm even quite good with philosophy, and I know a few things about science. I mean, obviously don't push me too far with that, but I do know one or two things about an atom. So voilà, avec ça, bon appétit.